Okay, welcome to the final segment of the November spell working for Samhain Seance. Now, this isn't our final meet, this is the final working segment. So by now, you all should have this PDF that's in the store if you're getting your PDFs. You are going to need the PDFs for Seance. I'm going to be very honest with you because we're going to be referencing them all. So if you don't have them, you're confused about them or anything like that, write me by Thursday so I can make sure you have your PDFs, okay? If it's a financial issue, let me know. I'm sure there's something I can take, soul, blood, whatever, to get in exchange for your PDFs. Suck a little of that off the top. We'll talk about that in the energy PDF. So when you guys are working this program, you should have been doing extensive crafting, extensive writing, and extensive meditation. If you notice, when we started this, there were 27 people in the meet. We have 7 people, including me. Okay. People are doing this at their leisure because I'm getting questions, but I'm not answering questions after the Zooms. Not out of cruelty, but if you are not willing to at least make one of the meets, I don't really know where you're at in the progress. So I can't really answer the question validly. So if you're very confused and you need something this far and you're not here tonight, write me an email on Tuesday. I'll get back to you. I am unavailable on Monday. So let's get into this. So we made the effigy. You've made your wreath. We're now on the braid. In this PDF, I gave the ancestor weave and directions to you. I found a pretty little braid to put at the bottom of the page. Your braid can look however you want your braid to look. Some of you French braid, some of you 3-column braid. I choose a 3-column braid because it's past, present, and future. I add in a string for ancestry when I do it, but I put that with my present string. So I spiral it around and I weave it through because I want to take my ancestry with me where I currently am. Yes, I want to bring them into the future. And yes, they were part of my past, but I really need to carry them forward with me. And that's of the utmost importance. There's also a significance in that. Your ancestry should be with you all the time, not just as a convenience. When you are a grounded feral worker, we talked about elements the other day, you really need to understand this is part of who you are. This is not an option. It is not a veil thing. It's not something you do once in a while. Your ancestry altar should become a permanent part of your practice. This should not be just at veil times. And I know that's going to be really offensive for some people and really pissed. I'm about to piss people off for a whole calendar year, so get ready. I'm starting on TikTok and I'm pretty sure I'll finish on Facebook. So when you are working, these are not conveniences. These are part of your workings, which it's not called witch duty. It's called witch craft. You choose to do crafts because they bring you joy, correct? If you are crafting out of duty, you're crafting for the wrong reason. Nobody be laughing because I said duty. That's like 4-year-old joke, okay? Because my grandson would be cracking up by now. So we are working at this. We are weaving our issue. And when you looked through this PDF, I brought you to the ritual altar. And what I want to discuss tonight is the ritual altar. Because we're doing an actual ritual when we meet on Friday night. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm not going to say it again. So if you're new around here, hi, welcome to Bitch 101. We will be meeting to do a reclaiming of your power meet prior to this ritual. There is a purpose behind that. If you want to meet for Samhain Seance, you need to be present in the reclaimment circle. It doesn't work for me. I can't be, not my fucking problem. Make it work for you. Will there be a replay? Not for free. This is a ritual. When you meet it, you are entering our energy. We are sharing our energy as a group. And that, myself, and in the women included, is an energy exchange. And you will pay for the replay. This is something I've never done before. It's not something I've ever broached before, but the replay of that reclaimant spirit will be $5. Period. I have to put a line when massive energy is exerted by not just me, your entire circle. You are in a deficit for not being present, and you are not entitled to the energy that will be rose at that situation. There needs to be realities that come into the craft. When a group of women are together and we pull energy together and we move together, which we will do, this isn't going to be one of these where Sissy just talks you through something. No, we're going to meet and do ritual. That means you're going to cast a circle on your end. I'm going to cast a circle on my end. We're going to take a moment and gauge ourselves into the situation. You're each going to speak. And that's the way we're going to handle this. So this will be a full engagement situation. And I will have something written before we go in for that. Will be very brief, but you need to be aware of it. There has to be a point in this situation where accountability is held. So your prerequisite for Samhain Seance is you have to have your PDFs done. You have to have your 3 items completed. And you have to read and do the meditation prior to getting together on the 15th in the evening when we all gather. Okay. The 17th is for the people who are doing the witch boot camp to do their dedications. Dedications can be done at any time frame. That's at their discretion. I will I will give them the dedication ritual. I will go over the importance of dedication. But what I am telling you is if you are meeting for Samhain Seance, we are doing it through the full moon time frame. So you will have that whole time frame to do it. But prior to you getting into that, you need to do those things for yourself and for your craft. Okay. We've been doing this a long time. I've put a whole lot of effort and time and energy into this workshop. And you guys have not had to pay for this workshop. Samhain Seance is always a paid workshop. I did not, I should say, the seance portions, the solstice seance portions that we do. This needed to be done to get us to the Yule portion of winter solstice. We have to have this open door with ancestry. You have to have a visit to Awen before we get to Yule. The world is a tumultuous place right now, and you need to be tethered to your ancestry. It's really important. Whether your ancestry is the people that you know or the people you wish to know, that is how this works. I have a lot of people going, oh, I don't know who my ancestors are. You have ancestors. You were not shit out by a stork on a rock. You have ancestry. Any way you fucking shake it, you may not like them, but you have them. And there needs to be this point in the matter where a line is drawn in the sand that says, this is how this is going to go. You have to have this in your practice. If you're moving forward with us in Pharaoh Craft, you have to have this in your practice. The ancestry is going to be where we're moving. The word for the next year is legacy. You're going to start building your legacy as a witch. You know, everybody wants to stand on their soapbox right now and scream about everything. But do you fucking know who you are? That's the important part. You can know what you believe without truly knowing what you're rooted to. And those are important things. And I'm talking your craft, your life, your maternal instincts, your paternal instincts. You are made of both masculine and feminine energy. Period. To be a balanced worker, you have to be light and dark. You have to be male, female. It's a balancing act. I had someone on TikTok the other day ask me why I don't teach men. I don't teach men because I don't live in a male body. I don't teach males because I don't have a male relationship with source. I don't teach males because it is an agreement I came to with my spouse that that's not the way my business would run. End of story. Those are my convictions. Do I know who I am? Yes. Does everybody like who I am? No. Do I like who I am? Most days. But I'm going to tell you something in reality. The point of this Samhain Seance is to get you a little more raw and a little open to discover who you are. We have had golden opportunities to move through magic. in the LHC in the last 3 years. We have had a crisis hit the LHC, a mass exodus. The Reds, the Red Sea parted and they ran. Okay, they're gone. They're not coming back. The ones that have left are not coming back. You'll see them trickle in from time to time. They're not coming back. This is not the craft for them. And more will leave. I'm very aware of that. I'm okay with that. We are going to do real magic. We are going to settle into real magical movements. You're going to understand who you are because my legacy is going to equip you to know who you are. That's my legacy. I want real magical women who stand in real magical circles and have real fucking community. I do believe that's what the world is looking for right now. I mean, that's what I've been hearing for the last 5 days. We need community. We need community. We have a fucking community. We don't got to go look for it. We don't got to go seek it. We got to work on it. That's the key. So when you're creating these altars, I gave you this full rundown. And I know somebody wrote me and said, man, Sissy, the writing got really small on this page because I had a lot to say on this one page. Okay. It says, we are entering the utmost sacred aspect of the Samhain Seance. We are gathering our crafted intention filled and consecrated craftings to our sacred space. Crafted by you, loaded by you, sacred to you, consecrated by you. What does that mean? That means you're going to wash your altars with a clearing wash. You're going to cleanse your space down. You're not going to go with what you already have said. You are going to take time and prepare your space for this. Is that the space you're going to use when you're with everybody else? Probably not. That's going to be your sacred space to go and sit at and work at and have your time at. I stand at my altar. I don't sit at my altar. I stand in reverence with my altar when I work because I find that when I am stood like a tree, I root more deeply. Right now, I'm at a loss like most of you. There's no fire happening outside of my house. It's not safe. It is not safe for us to have fires outside right now at all. So this ritual is going to have to be done within my hearth, not something I usually do. So it's going to be an adjustment for me. I'm always bragging to you guys, I'm out in my fire. No, I'm going to be in at my fire this time. So this crafting will take place in a sacred space. I'm going to choose a sacred cloth to cover my altar. Now, I did cover in here that if you don't want to do smoke or incense in your house for your clearing, you can use a bell to clear. And using a bell is also an excellent way to wake the ancestors. A lot of people don't use bells in their craft, but it's a beautiful way to work. So consider adding a bell to this ritual. Not a big, you don't need a cowbell, you just need a tiny bell, okay? Caroline was at Michael's yesterday and she discovered cowbell. Help us all. She's like, I want one of these. I'm like, no, we don't need one of those. Caroline's going to wake all the ancestors from like the beginning of primordial time with her cowbell. So that's her plan. I really want you to take all your items prior to setting your altar, spread them out, wipe them down, anoint them, spend time with them. Now, I don't want to wipe down my wreath and my doll. Okay. You have a spritz bottle, a small spritz bottle, spritz all your stuff, and pray over them. Invoke your ancestors to bless these items. These are all to make connection. You don't have to burn them at this portion of the ritual. You will burn them at winter solstice. Because I have faith we're going to have snow and rain till then, and we can all have an outside fire. You can all freeze your asses off, and it'll be beautiful. Okay. So you will burn them at that time. Those of you who are like, I can't burn things, you're going to dispose of them properly because they need disposed of at winter solstice as an offering to the ancestors for the new charge you want of Awen. Okay. So this time we're going to make contact, basically like go have lunch and coffee and say, hey, how you doing? This is what I'm interested in. This is the part of the relationship I'm looking to build. So you need to write an invocation. You need to call them to the altar. You need to make a clear declaration of what you're seeking. This is going to be a two-part date. You're going to have a get to know you date at Samhain, and we're going to have a dinner date at solstice. Okay. Maybe a sleepover if it goes well. Okay. So you really want to get into this place where you're creating a rapport and a relationship with your ancestry. Now, I gave you two herbs to use in this section, one of them being poppy and one of them being mustard seeds. Both of them are seeds. You should have access to both. If you're allergic to poppy seeds, please use mustard seeds. If you have random drug tests at your office, please use mustard seeds. But poppy seeds are a great item to use for veil walking. Mustard seeds are a good substitute. I would use poppy seeds if I were you, but not everybody can do that. You're going to want to have a sacred meal the night before you do this workshop. Okay, so whatever sacredness is to you. I mean, in my family, it's the legacy food that we've eaten our whole time. I'm pretty sure there'll be Popeye or something along those lines that night for dinner because it's something that invokes that emotional feeling, something of my Pennsylvania Dutch descent. You know, I will cook and set it all out, and I will have a small item on the altar. If you don't have a chalice for your altar, don't ooh and all over it. It's from the Goodwill. I promise I didn't spend a lot of money on it. A chalice is a great item for this to keep your water element in. Okay. Keep checking your thrift stores, ladies, because people get rid of these all the time. A nice wine glass. Go to the Dollar Tree. They're $1.25. You can add a wine glass to your altar, but you want to put your drink in an elevated item. Now remember, when you give an offering to the ancestors, you partake and they partake. So whatever you put for them, you're going to partake for you. Because the idea is to commune. It's to share a spiritual meal with them, spend time with them, just like your dumb suppers that you've done. It's along those lines. But we're having an actual conversation. So what's important at this? After you finish the ritual, you're going to dream, right? You're going to have a cup of tea before you go to bed with lavender or rosemary built into it. You put some lavender under your pillow, some rosemary under your pillow, because you really want to induce the dream recall. For me, I use Damiana tea at the end of a ritual. I either use Damiana or mugwort, but I don't use them together because that's a recipe for a hangover the next day. You're going to have a witchcraft hangover and it is going to hurt. Number one, you're opening yourself to a huge energetic push. Okay. So the next day, you're going to have a headache. You're going to be a little, ugh. Your energy is going to be a little shitty. How do you avoid that? I do believe in the beginning of this workshop, we talked about making yourself a personal anointing oil, correct? Are you using your anointing oils? Are you using them on your altars? Are you using them on your candles? Are you using them in general? These are where, if you did the work, you're going to have the tools. Because I told you there would be tools needed for this ritual. Because when we're doing this ritual, I'm going to say take a small amount of your anointing oil and put it on your third eye, open yourself up, rub it between your hands, caress your candle. All these things are going to come together. You have the sprays, you have a simmer pot, all these things. Look back through what we did and refresh your memory. I know it's been a while, but if you're going to do big magic, I can't give it to you in a 2 week time span. You're not going to be able to hold on to it. You're not going to be able to handle crafting it all. You have busy lives on top of this. But we should be at a place where we're ready to push forward. So you have to have your rope done. You have to have your altar set. You have to have a pre-ritual working figured out. Be a great idea to write it in your journals. There's a lot of questions in this PDF for ancestry contact and expectation. So some of you I know don't have it, so I'm going to go over these. When the replay comes out, you'll be able to pause it and write fast. These are questions I want you to think about when you're considering your invocation and your relationship expectation of this workshop. What guidance do you offer for my journey? These are questions you're asking your ancestors. How can I heal our family's past wounds? What are the traditions that I should preserve? What strengths have I inherited from our heritage? How can I best honor your legacy? And what lessons have you learned from your life experiences? Part of this situation is having a glimpse into their experiences, and they will show those to you. They're not going to be latent. They're going to come as dreams. They're going to come as glimpses. They're going to come as, like I call, glimmers. Well, you'll see something, a whole situation, and you look at it and go, man, that sounds familiar. But it's not familiar to you because it's in your DNA and it's being recalled. Really think about those moments that give you deja vu. When you're hearing someone speak about something, you're seeing something in the news or on television, and it's resonating with you. Why is it resonating with you? We have so much in common with other people. Why? Why do we? It might not have been us. It might have been a portion that participated in us. You realize you are the result of at least 3 other women in history. Your grandmother, your mother, and then there's you. You are a direct lineage to at least your great-grandmother, walking around every day. So if you don't like your mom, maybe your grandma was better. Maybe your great-grandmother was better. I mean, I'm holding up the golden ring because my great-grandmother on my mother's side, she was fire. So I'm hoping like maybe 2 back from her, we were downright outlaws that were hung from trees. I'm like holding on to that belief, okay? When you think about these things, what are you looking for? Are you the first of your line? Are you the first of your line to know your gift? I highly doubt you're not. I highly doubt there is a woman before you or a man before you in your line that had your gift. In my line, it's more likely there was a man before there was a woman because the gift is cross given. It is very rare it's given from woman to woman. It's man to woman in the hexcraft. Think about what you want to learn. Think about what you want to know. Some of you are walking around going, I just don't know why bad shit happens to me all the time. Uh, what's going on? What are we paying the karma on? You know, some of us haven't done anything that bad to have the shit that handed to us. Okay? Let's be honest. In Christianity, they call it generational curses. We just call it your ancestors were assholes and we're making atonement for it. Okay? Are they generational curses? Probably. Because if one person does something very far back that impacts everybody else in a negative way, you're gonna have to figure it out. That's your job. You wanna you want the buck to stop with you and good things to come forward from your legacy, you need to find the way to correct your legacy. What's wrong with your legacy? I don't teach men. I've changed my legacy right there. Because women in my faith teach men. I changed my legacy right there. I'm not going to educate another man on how to take me down. Not going to happen. I've made that decision. I've changed that in my craft. I've decided to balance my female and male energy and just be an asshole all the time so I can pursue on and be good at what I do. I'm not going to approach my craft half-assed any longer. If I can't do it fully, I'm going to step away from it till I can. It is not good enough to just check the boxes. You have to have intention, concentration, and dedication to check the boxes. I know it's like a whole bunch of fucking fence lines are going right up in the LHC, right? Gates are fucking dropping everywhere. They're not gates. They're fucking boundaries. Gates are when I say you can't do this. I don't care if you do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. That's your choice of how you want to do your craft. I'm not half-assed in my craft anymore. When I put out a PDF to you, I want to make sure it's the best that it can be. I'll hold it for 2 days if I'm not sure it's right. End of story. My goal is that everything that comes out to you is BOS worthy. that you can put it in your grimoire and you can work forward from it. There is nowhere I've found in the witch world that I can go into places and get PDFs, get information that is grimoire and BOS worthy. It's not fucking there because they're regurgitating the shit from everybody else. Real, authentic magic is ugly and dirty. Any way you look at it, and it pisses people off. It polarizes them from one end to the other. I have no problem being polarizing. I don't want you to have a problem with it either. There are going to be people who don't like you, and there are going to be people who don't agree with you. And that makes me want to be your friend even more. Period. People look at me sometimes and go, "How can you just deal with that?" I'm like, "Because she fucking believes what she says and she fucking stands on who she is. And I support that. Do I agree with you? Not always, but I support you in standing 2 feet down, 10 toes on business. If that's how you feel, we're going to go with that. And it's not a matter of, oh, we can disagree and still be friends. That's not what it is. I see you for who you are authentically, and nobody should be able to change who you are authentically. That's not okay. This exercise in the craft about we are about to come out on, it's about establishing you standing tall, 10 toes on business. When someone says to you, you don't need ancestry, and you're like, you know what? My magic improved 10 times when I hooked up with my ancestry. That practice was helpful to me. Knowing my legacy is helpful to me. I am moving in magic that is authentic to me. I'm sorry if it's not for you, but this is me. And I am not you. If we all looked the same and we all did the same, we'd be a coven. No, thank you. No, thank you. I need all of you to hold your side of the circle. I can't do it anymore. Period. The last 2 years have taught me that I cannot shoulder everybody's burdens. I cannot lead everybody to source. I cannot hold everyone's hand. You guys have got to do it. You've got to do it for yourself. And the only thing I hear in the back of my head is that song, Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves. Like, you seriously have to. Because this world is not going to survive if we don't take care of ourselves. Period. So this is where we're at in the workshop. I know this is a lot to process and you guys have been working really hard. Thank you for coming tonight. As always, I'm going to end the camera so you guys can feel comfortable asking your questions, and I'm going to open you up to questions. I will see the rest of you for your basic reclaimment circle later this week, and then we will meet for Samhain Seance. The the meditation will probably be up Thursday night is what I'm shooting for. It won't be till late at night. I'm going to wait till I get Caroline to bed. I'm going to really sit in it, do my mug work, do my Damiana, spend my time and actually sit into it to do my meditation. So I'll be up really late. So don't look for it early Thursday night. Look for it early Friday morning. So thank you for coming. You're magic because you fucking say you are. Get all your PDFs, get your shit together because this isn't going to go slow.